Hello there, and welcome to MTG Arena. I feel like I say this every single time. Just play this game, but it's been a while. Because, I don't know, I just really haven't been into Magic as much anymore. It's a little bit of a shame, but it is what it is, you know. Sometimes you need to step away for a bit, see new horizons, and find joy in other stuff. But we're back today because I figured, well, last time I streamed this game, I just did like a little bit of a rant, you know, kind of complaining about the new Baldur's Gate set and all that stuff. That said, I did notice with the Baldur's Gate set there is more gate support, and that seems the perfect opportunity to build a gate deck. But before we get into any of that, it seems as though it's been long enough that since I've touched this game that we actually get like some card rewards. So like, you know, here are the cards that we got. Cool stuff. It's all commons. Uh-oh. Game seems to be bugged. That's fine. Have I mentioned the new layout, the new way this looks? Was that a thing during the rant, or was that after? Because there have been a few changes. Just give me a sec here. I just want to clear out that notification. Ooh, those are gorgeous. Oh my fucking god, I want those. Offer ends soon. Oh, I need that. I need those. I need to switch over my other account and get that one day. Ooh. Also got like some cool looking sleeves. I'm assuming that's what those are. And more sleeves. Oh, those are great. I love those. Nice, just a mega bundle of all the stickers you could ever want. Guildmaster collection, that's kind of nice. And a whole bunch of special art for, like, it seems all the planeswalkers that are currently in standard. So yeah, we got lots of cool stuff. But there's also been 2 new anthologies, and this is really great stuff. Let me talk about these anthologies. Let's first look at the Historic Anthology. Historic Anthology 6. As is the case with all the anthologies, well, basically what an anthology is, it is an opportunity for Wizards to add in new cards to the game without having to release them as part of a set or part of like a certain event. It's just like they're now all permanently in the game. They're equally accessible to all players as long as they have the wild cards or other funds like gold or gems to purchase them. So let's see what got added with the Historic Anthology 6. Well, number 1, you know what, we'll work back. So we've got a whole bunch of artifact lands. Like, these may not look very impressive. It's just like, oh, they're commons. They all enter tapped. They just tap for 1 of 2 colors of mana. And, you know, not all that impressive. The 2 things to note. Number 1, the Indestructible, which, okay, fine. Like, it's not gonna come up too often. Maybe against a land destruction deck, they may not be able to get rid of it, but for the most part, that doesn't really matter. The most important part is the fact that it's an artifact. Artifact lands in the game, which means more artifact support, which means I'm assuming artifact decks can get a little bit more scary now. Next, we've got Knight of Souls Betrayal, a legendary enchantment to give all creatures -1/-1. I don't know how often this card will come up, but it's nice to have. It's good, you know, good way to get rid of X1s. You know, good anti-token sideboarding. Though there is better stuff, so I'm not really sure if you'd really want to run this, but who knows. Retrofitter Foundry. What does this even do? I'm not as familiar with this card. Looks like it's just artifact stuff. You can make a servo. You can sacrifice a servo to create a Thopter. You can sacrifice a Thopter to make a 4/4 construct. That seems pretty decent. Glimpse the Unthinkable. Now this card, I'm happy to see in the game. 2 mana, target player mills 10 cards. Now, are mill decks good? Not really, but they're still hilarious. They're still kind of fun to play. Sometimes fun to play against, although not usually. But yeah, Glimpse the Unthinkable is just one of the most efficient mill cards ever printed, and I guess Wizards was just like, you know what, mill isn't prevalent enough for this to matter, so we'll just make mill slightly better. It's still not gonna be good though. So yeah, 2 mana, 10 cards. Great card for mill. We've got Ophiomancer. This is also one that I'm not familiar with. I don't even recognize that set symbol. What set is this from? I'm assuming it's like some MTG Online set. I'm not actually sure. But what does this do? At the beginning of each upkeep, not just yours, each upkeep, if you control no snakes, create a 1/1 black snake with Death Touch. So, seems solid. Nothing much more to say there. Avacyn Angel of Hope. This is a powerhouse. Gives everything you have indestructible. She is herself indestructible. She is just awesome. And scary. If your opponent drops an Avacyn, you are shitting your pants. Go, Shintai of Life's Origin. Hello, Alpha. Good morning to you, good evening to me. So, what does this one do? I'm actually not very familiar with this one either. It's shrine support, so it's good to see that shrines are getting support. They're not a great deck, they're a fine deck, they're about probably as good as Gates. The fact being that both those types of decks are 5-color decks that are just a gimmick and don't really, like, they can be powerful, but there are better things to be doing with your life. What does it do? Pay Wooburg and tap it to return target enchantment from your graveyard to the battlefield. So just 5 mana, 1 of each color, to reanimate any enchantment from your graveyard. That's pretty solid, and whenever it or another non-token shrine enters the battlefield under your control, create a 1/1 colorless shrine enchantment creature token. Okay, so this makes shrines. It makes little shrine tokens that can power up your other shrines. That's actually really cool. Then we have Laylee the Blade Reforged, legendary creature Spirit Warrior with haste. When she attacks, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. Whenever one or more cards are put into exile from your library and or graveyard, put a 1/1 counter on her. Okay, nice. And here's where we get into the good stuff. TM, like the good stuff. Phyrexian Metamorph. This card copies an artifact or a creature anywhere on the battlefield, and it's an artifact in addition to its other types. This costs Phyrexian mana, meaning life is a resource that you can use to spend mana. So normally, technically this card costs 4 mana, one of which is blue, but if you choose to pay 2 life, it actually only costs 3 mana. And you don't have to play this exclusively in a deck that runs blue. So that's a solid... This is like one of the best copy cards ever printed. That's how good this card is. I don't think it's broken. I just think it's good. If you like playing clones, Phyrexian Metamorph is a solid one. And it's not just a clone, it copies artifacts too. Goyf is here. Tarmogoyf. Oh, what do I even say about this? Number one, I was kind of surprised that they added it. Now that they did, I can kind of see, like, okay, number one, it's a mythic rare, so it's not easy to acquire, but number two, there is a lot of removal just in the game, and it's like cheap removal for 1 mana to get rid of Tarmogoyf. Like, let me think of all the 1 mana black cards there are that can hit this card. I believe there are currently 3, or maybe only 2. I know there's Tragic Slip. Not Tragic Slip, no. Fuck, I can't remember the name of the card that everyone plays. Anyway, the card is literally just a black instant for 1 mana to destroy target creature with CMC 2 or less. I can't remember what the name is. Anyway, the other one is Bloodchief's Thirst? Is it Bloodchief's Thirst? It's Bloodchief's something or other. That's the 1 mana sorcery that destroys target creature or planeswalker with CMC 2 or less. Both of them also have like other things to do. Point being, there's plenty of removal to kill this card if you really need to, and besides that, it's a good card. I hope this powers up Jund, because Jund is kind of a fun archetype. And Chalice of the Void. Already banned in Historic Brawl. Obviously, I think it's the only one of these cards that has a preemptive ban in a format. But yeah, Chalice of the Void is a staple. It's you see this in every format where it's legal. You see this in Modern. Is it legal in Modern? I'm pretty sure it's legal in Modern. You see this in Legacy. You see this in Vintage. Usually in Legacy and Vintage, you drop this on 0 because there's a lot of 0 mana spells that you want to counter. It's just a really, really good card. So all these have been added to Arena with Historic Anthology 6. Now the Explorer Anthology. This is Anthology 1, the first of the Explorer anthologies. These cards are only legal in Historic and any other format that is uses the Historic card pool, like Historic Brawl. These cards are they're legal in both Explorer and Historic, because Historic allows you to play cards that are Historic allows you to play like any card that's in the game. So let's go over these. Darksteel Citadel. See an immediate parallel to these cards right here. It doesn't enter tapped. It also doesn't tap for mana, tap for colored mana. But it's indestructible and it's an artifact. In Soul Artifact, this was actually a powerful combo in M15. I remember I was there, and it's like for 2 mana, turn any artifact, so you can do this on turn 2, into a 5/5. We also have Shadowborn Apostles. This is just a meme card. You can play as many Shadowborn Apostles as you want. If you have 6 out and you pay a black and sacrifice all of them, you can search for a demon card and put it into play. Searing Blood. This was back when I first played during Theros, the original Theros block. This was my favorite red removal card, because I built like a red-white deck, and I needed like some kinds of removal, and Searing Blood was like pretty solid, 2 damage to any target creature, and when that creature dies, it deals 3 damage to its controller, so it's like it's burn on top of other stuff. Back to Nature. Just very efficient enchantment removal. 2 mana, destroy all enchantments. Favorite Hoplite can get you... So this has Heroic. Whenever you cast a spell that targets it, put a 1/1 counter on it, and prevent all damage that would be dealt to it this turn. Back during that Theros block, the deck I was talking about, the red-white deck, was a heroic deck. It had a lot of white creatures that benefited from you targeting them with stuff, and it had a lot of red spells for removal. I believe that's how it went. Battlewise Hoplite is another very solid heroic card. Titan Strength triggers heroic. Teamer Battle Rage. Yes, it seems they really want you to be playing heroic stuff. Teamer Battle Rage was a powerhouse back during the time the heroic deck was a thing. Right? That was during Theros. I'm fairly certain. I believe Theros and Tarkir blocks were both legal at the same time. Fairly certain that was a thing. But yeah, this was a great card. Elvish Mystic. Was this card not already in the game? Am I thinking of Llanowar Elves? I'm thinking of Llanowar Elves. Okay, so Elvish Mystic is in the game now. So now, instead of having a single 1 mana elf that taps for 1 mana, we have 2 1 mana elves that tap for 1 mana. So isn't that great? Alesha, Who Smiles at Death. I love her. By the way, Translorites, Alesha is in fact canonically trans. So Alesha, Who Smiles at Death. 3 mana. First strike. Whenever Alesha, Who Smiles at Death attacks, you may pay 2 mana of either white or black If you do, return target creature card with power 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped and attacking. Very solid, very efficient card. Tainted Remedy. This one's just hilarious, and I wanted to try and build a deck that, like, gave your opponent's life with Tainted Remedy in the deck so that they would lose the life instead. I've tried making the deck. I don't think it's a very good deck though, but I've tried. But yeah, this is just a hilarious card that exists. Rally the Ancestors. Very powerful card for just reanimating so many cards. There is the downside that it doesn't give your creatures haste, and it exiles the creatures that you reanimated at the beginning of the next upkeep. So why play this card? It is an instant, by the way. There's more to reanimating creatures than attacking with them, especially because this is an X type cost. Normally what you're going to do is pay X for like 2 or 3 or maybe even 1. It's usually 2, I think. And usually I think in like a sack outlet deck. If you're playing an Aristocrats deck or something that has a sack outlet, a way to sacrifice a bunch of creatures and gain a ton of benefit from them, this is what you do that with. So like I think it's been a long time since I've seen a Rally the Ancestors deck, but take my word for it, this card is powerful, and it's cool to see it in a game. Slaughter Games is... it just hits whatever card your opponent happens to be running that you can't deal with, and it can't be countered, so yeah. These types of cards usually aren't that great. You usually need to know what your opponent is doing, and 4 mana is a lot of mana to be spending on neutralizing one of your opponent's cards in their entire deck. If that card that you're trying to get rid of happens to be 4 mana or less, they could just play it before you can play this card. Tireless Tracker is... I've said this for a lot of other cards in these anthologies, and I will say it for Tireless Tracker too. This card is a powerhouse. Every single time you make a land drop, every single time a land enters the battlefield under your control, you investigate. So you make a glue token, and when you sacrifice a glue, you put a 1/1 counter on Tireless Tracker. So this is green card draw. Clue tokens are a balanced way of doing card draw because you still have to spend mana in order to get the card draw, but you can do them on your opponent's turn. There's also more things you can do with clues if you're playing a deck that likes to sacrifice things. Kalitas, creator of Get, is Mono Red's Nightmare. It's got a solid blocker. 4 toughness is no joke against Mono Red, and it's got lifelink, and it gets bigger. You can sacrifice vampires or zombies to make it bigger. And also, whenever your opponent's things die, they exile instead of going to the graveyard, which is very relevant, and you get a zombie token. So Kalitas is no joke. Mono Red just eats Mono Red for breakfast. Hangerback Walker. Love this card. I hated this card, but I still have a kind of soft spot every time I see it, because it's like I was there when this card was in standard, and it's still so good. It makes so you can pour any amount of mana into it, and it is so big, and then when it dies, you make that many 1/1 Thopters. Supreme Verdict, best board wipe ever. Maybe not the best ever, but very solid board wipe for 4 mana. Cannot be countered. It's a little harder to cast than most board wipes because a lot of them just require 2 white pips and then nothing else. This one also requires a blue pip in additional. That's the can't be countered clause that you're paying for with the blue, but Supreme Verdict makes blue-white decks happy. And Mausoleum Wanderer. This is a card that everyone was saying needs to be in the game to make spirits more playable, and well, here it is. So, it's just 1/1 spirit for 1 mana. Whenever it or another spirit enters battlefield under your control, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. You can sacrifice it to counter target instant or sorcery until its controller pays X, where X is its power. So usually, this is just going to be power 1, but still that 1 mana tax is relevant. Actually, there's like one other spirit card that needed to be added in the game to make spirits more playable, and that was... I can't remember the name of it, but it's a 3 mana spirit. And it exiles a 4 mana or less spell until it dies. So, like, it's really great at stopping your opponent's, like, collected company, for instance, or pulling off a collected company, because it is a 3 mana card. And Siege Rhino. I'm really happy to see this card in the game. This card does so much for only 4 mana. And it's in one of my favorite color combinations. It has Trample, it's a 4/5, and it drains your opponent for 3 when it enters the battlefield. I love playing this card in Flicker decks, decks that like to make your creatures leave and come back into play. Like, I kind of want to build a Flicker deck around Siege Rhino now, but yeah, it's such a good card. Reminds me of back in the days when I used to play during Tarkir Standard, and oh boy, I actually hated this card when I played against it in Standard, because back in that day, I was like a loyalist when it came to Magic decks. Like, if there was a set that was centered around something, I would, like, say, clans, as it was the case with Khans of Tarkir, or guilds in the case of Ravnica. Like, in those instances, I would choose a side and stick to that side. And back then I chose Temur as my side. And so every time I would basically refuse to play Abzan because it wasn't my side, and then other people would play Abzan because the deck was so powerful. Like, Abzan midrange had the best curve ever and the most efficient creatures to play on each part of the curve. Like, it curved into, I can't remember what the 1 or 2 were. But then turn 3 you play Anafenza, turn 4 you play Siege Rhino, and you just have so much power, your opponent cannot win. That happened to me. I cried. Not really, but, you know. Anyway, I talked for way too long about those anthologies, but I just want to bring attention to the fact that new cards have been added into the game since I last complained about the game, and hopefully these shake things up a little bit, because I'll admit the formats have gotten kind of stale. I got a free Kamigawa Neon Dynasty Mythic pack. I don't know, I can't remember where it came from. I think it was from a sale. It might have been from a sale. But anyway, let's just open it, see what we get. Kyrie the Swirling Sky. Cool. Anyway. We're here today. It took me like a fucking hour to get to this, but we're here today to build a Gates deck. Now, I was hoping I would have time to build 2 decks. One for Historic and one for Historic Brawl. I didn't expect to be talking that long about the anthologies, but I just had to. We're gonna be building a Gates deck. Yeah, just my decks, and open up a brand new deck. Okay, yeah, clear all that. So I ran a poll on Twitter. Didn't get that many votes, but it was enough to convince me to do Historic Brawl as our commander deck. By the way, do keep in mind the number of commons, uncommons, rares, and mythics we have access to. This should, especially since this is only Historic Brawl, like it's a singleton format, we should have enough to build what we want. In fact, I think it's better that this is what we have access to for Historic Brawl instead of regular Historic, because we would be wanting 4 copies of mythics and rares that I don't think I would be able to afford. But yeah, Historic Brawl. So what are we gonna be building? Well, first off, let me, hang on, go away. Discard changes, sure, whatever. Let's just go to collection. Search for Gate specific. Oh no, I don't want to see negate. Fuck you. Not collected. And we are specifically talking about okay, whatever. We'll find it eventually, right? Here it is. Maze's End. So, back in my day, when I started playing Arena, no, not Arena, Magic. When I started playing Magic, I was in high school, and we were towards the end of the Return to Ravnica block. So like Theros was just around the corner. In fact, I believe it was pre-release night for Theros, possibly. I could be mistaken, but I was a high schooler. I wasn't gonna stay up past midnight for like a pre-release for a game that I'd only just gotten into. And back then, I was all like, well, the only game that I really like back then, I didn't even know what a control deck was. I didn't know control or like aggro or mid-range. I didn't know those terms. Maybe I could guess aggro if you said aggro, but like all I knew were the colors and what they stood for. Because like my friend at the time that had got me into Magic had told me like the different color philosophies, and I had settled on blue-white. So blue-white was the color philosophy that I had subscribed to, and I was just playing, you know, basically just the starter deck. Like, it was just the $15 starter deck that you can find on the shelf for Azorius at the time, and maybe I had a few more cards mixed in there. I know for a fact the deck was illegal because you were only allowed to run 4 copies of any card except basic lands. And the way my friend had told me, it's you're only allowed to run 4 copies of a card except lands. And so I was like, oh ho ho ho, well, I can run 4 copies of Azorius Guild, 5 copies, because I had 5 copies. I can run 5 copies of Azorius Guildgate, the best blue-white land ever printed. You know why it was the best blue-white land ever printed? Because it tapped for both colors, right? Yeah, I had no idea back then, but yeah. So Azorius Guildgate, I ran 5 copies of it. And I was playing Friday Night Magic, you know. This was my first Friday Night Magic, in fact. And also I was asked when I was signing up, like, do you want historic or modern? No, not historic. Standard or modern? And I was like, I didn't know what the difference was. I just said standard, and luckily that was in fact the format that I wanted to play. Yeah, standard or modern. I'm just like, I'm brand new to the game. Just standard, I suppose. So I played standard with this deck, and I lost every single game. But one of the decks I played against sticks in my memory. And this kind of carved the path for me for where I would be going with Magic ever since that point. The deck I lost to was Maze's End. This was my first introduction to a deck that had an alternate win condition besides just killing your opponent or milling them out, and even then I wasn't even fully aware of mill decks, but like, it had an alternate win condition, and it was on a land, and I didn't really know how to destroy lands back then, so to me it was like a perfect win condition. And because I couldn't touch my opponent at all because they were playing Turbo Fog with a bunch of control cards in it, I couldn't hit them, and they just kept getting out these gates every single turn, and I was just like, well, I guess I lose. And I did, I lost. But ever since then, I was like, I want to build a Maze's End deck. That was my first experience of losing to a deck and wanting to immediately build it. And that's what I did. I built Maze's End Turbo Fog kind of control deck. Turned out to not actually be that good, because it turns out there are better things to be doing with your mana, and it kind of sucks to be playing a deck where every single one of your lands enters tapped. But this card, Maze's End, has a very soft spot in my heart, and I will love this deck. I will love this card, Maze's End, until the day I die. So, we're going to build a Gates deck around this card, Maze's End. So, let's go back into the deck builder. Gonna make a historic brawl deck, which means we have to choose a commander. And I know exactly who we're gonna choose. We do not own the card. Golos, Tireless Pilgrim. Now, why Golos? So first of all, I just have to make a little disclaimer here. I hate playing against Golos. And I know there are going to be players that get salty when they just start up a game against me, see Golos in my command zone, and probably immediately concede, or just like go all ham on me and super aggressive, like. Because the thing with Golos is, with every commander, they have a command tax of 2. So you kill the commander, it goes to the command zone, and you can replay the commander if you pay 2 more mana for it. Golos, number 1, doesn't have any color restrictions on what you can use to cast him because he's a colorless artifact creature. But number 2, because he searches for a land every single time you play him, it's almost as though his commander tax is reduced by 1. So normally a 5 mana card with command tax would be like 5 mana, 7 mana, 9 mana, 11 mana. That is 4 times casting it. 5, 7, 9, yeah, 4 times casting it, it eventually gets to cost 11. If it's Golos and it successfully searches for a land every single time, you're essentially making the tax 5, 6, 7, 8. It's a much easier tax to pay because he's helping you pay for him. But also the extra ability is nice. But the most important thing Golos does for us, which is why we need him as our commander, is he searches for a land. Not just a basic land, any land, and puts it on the battlefield tapped. So we will add you. Let's not worry about crafting just yet. Golos, there we go. Now, so ideally I would have looked at a deck list before this and like just went to MTG Goldfish, searched up a bunch of Gates decks and just went with like whatever people were running, because I'm 100% certain someone has built a jank Gate deck and just put it on there. And frankly, that's probably the smartest thing to do, just for the sake of saving myself time. Because I can't think off the top of my head a lot of just like, what are all the cards that I don't currently own? Or like, no, I can't think of off the top of my head, what are all the different cards that search for lands, because that's something that we're going to be needing to do with this deck, is searching for lands. But we can't do that. Instead, what we're going to do is just, so here's the easy part. We just get every single card that has anything to do with Gate. Well, we get every single card that is a Gate and throw it in. Oh, one last thing I need to say. So Maze's End, its win condition is you tap it and 3 mana and return it to your hand. You search for a Gate card, put it on the battlefield, then shuffle. And if you control 10 or more Gates with different names, you win the game. So Maze's End has to search up 10 different Gates. It itself is not a Gate. Back in the days when this card was first printed, there were only 10 Gate cards in all of existence. 1 for each guild. So if someone were to get rid of, like, say, all your Azorius Guild Gates, you now can no longer win with this card. That has since changed. Because, well, number 1, Gateway Plaza, was the newest gate that was added. And then we also have Baldur's Gate, which is a gate. We have Where are they? Yeah, like gate to Manorborn, gate to Tumbledown, gate to Black Dragon, gate to Sea Tower, and gate to the Citadel. These are all also gates. And we want to be playing every single gate that we can. Fairly certain. No, don't right click, just left click. We'll worry about the right clicking later. So yeah, just right now is the easy part. We just add every single gate card in existence. So yeah, we want an Azorius skill gate. Which art do we want? Kind of like this art a little bit better. Orzhov. I think we'll go for this. And yeah, do keep in mind how many wild cards we have. Demir. We'll take you. Is it? You, please. Rakdos. I like this one. Golgari. I love the Hanging Clock Tower. Rule. Boros. Selesnya. Simic. Yeah, I'll take that Simic one. Cool. So that's all the gate cards. Well, and then there's also, of course, Baldur's Gate, Maze's End. Plaza of Harmony is not a gate, but it is gate support. And it gains you 3 life if you control 2 or more gates whenever enters the battlefield. And it also taps for any colors that your gates have. So I think this is a must-have. No, stop right-clicking. And as for Gateway Plaza... So we could go for the pretty ones, or we could go for the War of the Spark art, which is really, like, I love the storytelling of this, where it's like, oh, look at the pretty little Gateway Plaza. It's so pretty and nice and cool, and then, boom, the planar bridge just destroys it when the invasion happens. But I think we want to go for, like, one of the nicer ones, just because. I'll go for you. So that's the easy part. That is all the gates added. Now is the hard part. We have to find the gate support cards, and we also kind of have to decide which gate support cards are worth running. Also, at this point, we need to keep in mind what exactly is our strategy here. Are we a control deck? Are we a ramp deck? Are we like an aggro deck? There's a few different ways we could go about this. Generally, we want to be more of a control deck. We could try to win with other means. We could try to be all rampy and get all the ramp stuff going, but we can't really do that. Well, like, we can ramp easily, but yeah, it's like we need to stay alive. If we're not actually committing anything to the board and all we're doing is just putting more lands into play, we are sitting ducks, and we lose to any deck that has any sort of aggression at all. So, we're not gonna really... Yeah, we need to play the control deck. Which is kinda gonna suck, because control doesn't really like, for instance, red and green colors, so Gruul Guildgate is gonna kinda suck for us, but it is what it is. Also, how many lands is this right now? So this is 20 lands. We need roughly like 30-something lands. Okay, so I'll need to think about what other lands to add. Yes, so... But anyway. Now... So, yeah, we want to be playing a control deck. Archway Angel. Yes. How many uncommons do I have? Okay, 28. That should be enough, because these are all commons. Like, all the regular guild gates are commons. These gates are uncommon. And yeah, a lot of the gate support is either common or uncommon. So, yeah. Archway Angel can gain us a bunch of life. Sucks that Investigate just comes off of Gate. Also, so does Negate. Are the gates... Okay. Gateway Sneak is interesting. It is gate support, but like, I don't think we run it because, yeah, like, it just feels like a very weak card to me. Guild Summit, on the other hand, is not weak, and we absolutely need to be playing that. What is Tezzret's Gatebreaker? Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal blue or artifact. Okay, yeah, that doesn't do anything with gates. Could run Seagate Restoration just for, like, the hell of it. Just like, we could go full on meme and just play any card that has the word gate in it, but I mean, we could eventually maybe do that, but right now I want to focus on building just like a good deck, not a meme deck. Gates Ablaze is a must. It hits all creatures for X, where X is the number of gates you control. Open the gates, just searches for any gate card. District Guide. So this card does kind of suck a little bit because it doesn't put it into play, it puts it in your hand, but it's still important. Gatebreaker Ram is, so even if we're playing control, this can help us close out the game if we really need to. It can be an alternate win condition if our opponent somehow removes our Maze's End and we don't have a way to get it back. But I will be trying to run like land protection cards if those types of cards even exist in the game. Yeah. And even then, even if you're not trying to close out the game, it's great at preserving a life total and stopping your opponent from attacking you. Tireless Tracker would be perfect to run in this deck. We'll see later on what we need to add, but if we can find a spot for it and spare the wild card, I will absolutely add it. Circuitous Route searches gate cards. Yeah, what else? You're just some person of Baldur's Gate. That doesn't do anything for me. Investigate. Yeah, also Garrison Sergeant is technically gate support, but not really. Yeah. Glaive of the Guild packs would be good to run if we were playing the aggressive deck, but we're trying to play the control deck. I don't think we want to run this card. Navigation Orbs. Sacrifice it, search for up to 2 basic lands and or gates, reveal them, put one on the tapped and the other in your hand. Yes, please. I didn't even know about this card. Enters battlefield with a 1/1 counter on it for each gate you control. Interesting. I'll consider it. I don't think I'll run it, but I'll think about it. And Gate Colossus is a must. It's hard to get rid of because if you destroy it and your opponent plays another gate, it just comes back. So there we go. And look, our deck is half built. Hello, Tresden. I don't think I have any of the... let me check. They're happy from Ixalan. Take away lands. Ixalan. No, Ikoria, not Ixalan. Yeah, Ixalan's all the way down here. No, Ikoria. Do I have anything from Ikoria? I do. Like, I got Luminous Broodmoth. I don't think I have any of the alternate arts for them, though. Which is a shame. I do have Shark Typhoon. The Peasant Farmer? I'm not actually sure what you're referring to. Oh yeah, no, like one of my partners is like, they're really big into Yu-Gi-Oh, but they have dabbled in MTG, but it's not really their game, but they were really into this game just for the sake of the Godzilla cards, because they are a big fan of Godzilla. In fact, for their birthday, I got them a copy of which one was it? It was the not collected. I have to find which card this is. This one. Whatever her alternate form is there a way to see? No, don't add. Whatever her alternate form is, the Beast Elemental Dinosaur. That's the one that I got my partner for their birthday. But we're not here for Ikoria. We're not here for that. We're here for gates. This is a gate deck building stream. I need my gates. Okay, so yeah, let's reset all those filters, go back to not... let's go just regular collective now, because I think we've got all the gate support. Now it's just a question of... we need tutors, ways to get gates out, so... I'm just gonna see any card that can get us land cards. So Gifted Estates can get us planes, and they don't have to be basic, but that's not really what we're looking for. Nope. 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 We'll find one. Might just run Cultivate for the sake of it. Yeah, it's all just basics. We'll eventually find one that doesn't search for basic. 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 Snow. Basic. 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 Just a forest, but we only have one forest card in the deck. Basic. Okay, I do think we want to run the world tree just for color fixing. Basic. 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 All these are gonna be basics. Basic. Okay, we really don't have that many ways to search for lands. I swear. Didn't I have? I swear I have. What's the card called? It's the Hydra. Ulvenwald Hydra. I swear I had it, but I guess I was wrong. Well, we'll be adding you, I guess. Assuming we can spare the mythic. If we can't, I'll be cutting you. So, yeah, we need Ulvenwald Hydra. We also need Sylvan's... Is Sylvan's Scrying not in the game? I swear Sylvan's Scrying is in the game. Right? Am I making this up? I might be making this up. Sylvan's Scrying's in Arena, right? I need to Google this. I'm baffled. Like, apparently it's not in the game, but Sylvan's Scrying. It's from Battle for Zendikar. Yeah. Weird. Okay. Are we satisfied with how many land tutor cards we have? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 really isn't enough, but then again, our commander himself is also a tutor. So I think this is fine. Yeah, so that's weird. I could have sworn Sylvan's Scrying would be in. Now is the next question. What do we fill the rest of the deck with? So we got 5 colors to work with. I just want... Okay, turn off the not collected stuff. I don't need... Well, this deck is a 5-color deck. And if by main you mean which ones do I tend to go for, I'll be honest with you, the more colors the better in my opinion. I am always fascinated when I play Magic with just the deck building, like, challenges of building a 5-color deck. Yeah, 5-color is just my way to go. But if I had to pick, like, a 2-color combination, I wouldn't even do that. I would maybe go a 3-color combination. A 3-color combination that I usually like would be Abzan. That's black, white, and green. I like Abzan. So yeah. But yeah, no. The more colors, the better, in my opinion. Anyway, I want to go to... Is there an easier way to do this without breaking my hand? But I just want to see, like, towards the end of all the stuff I have, what we've got. Green, red, and black. That would be Jund. The name for that color combination is Jund. Yeah, green, red, and black is also very good. It's kind of like the sister color combination to Abzan, because they're both kind of like mid-rangey color combinations that do a lot of stuff with big creatures and have ways of like protecting themselves and oh god, this is... There's no way this is the most efficient way to do this. Hang on, no. That at least is gonna save me a bunch of clicking. Because I want to see what, like, the 5-color stuff I have are. Just in theory. What 5-color cards do I have? Okay, yeah, let's go to the very end here. Hang on. Go to the very end. Okay. Oh, you know what? Now that I think of it, there is one card that we could run. Hang on, where is it? Growth Spiral. Yeah, Growth Spiral would be perfect. Anyway, back to this. But yeah, Growth Spiral does remind me that there... Okay, no, there is absolutely one other gate card that I forgot to add. So I might go back and add that if I remember to. Yeah, no. Let's just see the multicolor cards that I have access to. So, Chamber Sentry. That's a bad card. Not gonna run that. Maelstrom Archangel could be fun. We might just throw that in as a meme. Sure, I'll do that. We got plenty of space to spare in this deck. Cody, nope. Ruinous Ultimatum is a maybe, but this is a very difficult mana cost to achieve, so I will not be doing that. Let's see, exile. Double strike, gets a shield counter. I might run this just for the mana fixing. How many lands are we at now? 40. Oh, that's a lot. Oh, but we do have a bunch of basics. Okay, we'll work off that. Let's see. That is the thing to think about. Treasure tokens could help us with casting stuff. That's vampire support. like Voidrend, just as kind of a funny card. So we'll add that in. Okay. Now... yeah, I wouldn't mind, like, milling ourselves wouldn't be terrible if we could get our cards back from the graveyard, and there are a few ways to do that. Like, Crucible of Worlds is in the game, so we could run Crucible of Worlds. I think we do want Eureka Moment. We want these kinds of cards that can let us play extra lands. This is actually a solid card. It's great at control, because it can counter artifact or enchantment, which are going to be playing a lot of artifact and enchantments in Historic Brawl. And it bounces a creature or planeswalker. And if any of those we don't need, we can maybe get back 3 of our gates if they've been destroyed or something. So I will throw that in. Might be worth running Zamone, just because we can. Okay. Anything else? This is a great card, by the way, Army of Gala. Well, great is a strong word, but like... funny, I guess? It's a funny card. Yeah, we're really just looking... okay, Knight of Autumn is just a very versatile card, so I'll run it. That's good for enchantments if we were playing those. That's only good for basic lands. Hang on. Okay, yeah, you're only lands. You're only good for basic lands, though. And now we're into Boros. I'm not expecting to see any support in Boros. Showdown of the Scalds. It's a great card, and a lot of people play it, but that's for people who are restricted to, like, only red. Like, red and white as their only colors that they're running. This is the best card draw spell for them, but for us, we have all 5 colors. We have access to blue. If we want to draw cards, we got card draw. Hakdos is just funny. Okay, Thrilling Discovery is a maybe? Just as a way to filter through cards? Yeah... Right? Like... I don't know. Maybe. Not sure if we want to run Rip Apart. I'll think about it. Just remember there's a lot of good removal in red and whites. So we also want to be running board wipes as the thing. Alright, now red and green. Yeah, that's only good for basic lands. Rada is perfect because she lets us play lands off the top of our deck. I do think we want to run this card just because in Historic Brawl people are going to be playing problematic cards, and this helps us deal with them. And it's got flashback. Yeah, and like we could play some landfall cards too. Harness Infinity is just dumb and hilarious. Exchange your hand in graveyard. No, I don't think we'll run it, but it is hilarious. I also like Lore of Extinction. It's just fun. It's not good, but it's hilarious. Polukranos Unchained, though. Yeah, it's something to think about. Now, Gitrog. Gitrog. At the beginning of each upkeep, if it's untapped, an opponent may sacrifice a non-token creature. Interesting. I knew this guy had something to do with lands, but he's not the guy that I was thinking of. Acolyte of Affliction is something to think about. Okay, Putrefy, yes. Sacrifice up to 3 permanents. If there are 3 or more card types among the sacrifice permanents, each opponent loses 3 life and you gain 3. Okay. Fun jank, but not good. At least not for what we want. Bloom Shriek does what we want. Like, it can get us cards back from the graveyard. So that's something. I don't know if we want to play it, though. Witherbloom Command can get back our lands. This card may not be worth running. I could be completely wrong to run this card, but this is just the first draft of the deck anyway. We'll change things up later. How we feel. And now it's Rakdos time. Yeah, I suspect there's not going to be much in Rakdos that we care for unless there's premium removal or something like that. But yeah, for the most part, I'm not expecting that to be the case. Kira Vtuber, thank you for the raid. Hello. You're playing Phasmo. Awesome. Welcome, everyone. We're here playing MTG Arena, building a Gates deck, or trying to at least, with my limited card pool and limited wild cards. So yeah, welcome. How's the stream? Yeah, literally nothing good in Rakdos for us. What about Is It? So Creative Outburst is something to consider. Because worst case scenario, and probably what we're mostly going to be using this card for, is the 2 mana ramp. We discard it to create a treasure. But if we draw the card late game, and we have the mana to use its ability... Hang on, there's something in my eye. Hopefully that is better now. Yeah, if we have the mana to play the card, sure, let's run it. I mean, we need top and stuff too, right? So, might as well. We got plenty of space in the deck. Prismari Command. Okay, so Prismari Command is kind of a must, but we are running a lot of 3s. I still think we need to play it, because, like, if we're trying to dig for our gates, we can use that loot ability. If we need to kill something with very little health, we can do that. Or if we need to destroy our opponent's dumb artifact that they just dropped, we can do that. Or if we need to ramp, we can do that. So yeah, Prismari Command is just too versatile to not include. Do want to be playing Expressive Iteration. That can dig us further into our deck. And now we're into Dimir. So what Dimir cards are there for us? Don't want to play any of those. Yeah, really not a lot of good stuff in Demir. Now what about Orzhov? Blot Out the Sky is hilarious, but I'm not gonna run it because it's actually not that great of a card. If we can easily and consistently get to the problem is it destroys non-creature, non-land permanents. It's not a board wipe. So, no. Spirit Sister's Call is interesting. It's a way to get back our gates if any of them get destroyed, but it doesn't get back Maze's End. It doesn't do what we want it to do, because if it leaves the battlefield, it exiles. So, no. Kambal is hilarious. Vanishing Verse is a very playable card. Just 2 mana, exile anything that is only 1 color. Silverquill Silencer. I mean, we could name our opponent's commander. It wouldn't be good, but we could. And Azorius, okay. I might actually consider running Dream Trawler. Maybe. Yeah, let's play Dream Trawler and Cloud Blazer both. God, this deck is still not even built, and it's already almost 10 o'clock. I'm gonna be late to bed tonight. Okay, and now we are into these kinds of cards. The ones that I'm not so sure. How many of them I'm going to play. Okay, so that is all our multicolor cards. Now, I want to look first at play land. How many cards? Okay, this gives us a decent number of cards to search, because I want to see if we have any potential cards that let us put cards put lands into play from our hand. So obviously a lot of these are going to be choose a non-land card type stuff. But just out of curiosity, especially towards green. Druid class? That's something to consider. Maybe. I don't know. I think I like this one. It uses many journeys. Sure. Oh yes, explore, definitely. Aha, Augur of Autumn can let us play lands off the top of our deck. Oracle Muldaya, yes, yes, yes. Okay. Now what about... Yeah, what about, yeah, let's go back to Gate, because there's one card that I'm fairly certain exists, but maybe I forgot to add it? No. The card that I'm thinking of just isn't here. Because the card that I'm thinking of is a 2-mana 0/3? I can't remember what it's called. Search for Gate cards. Gate Creeper. Okay, yeah, Gate Creeper Vine was returned to Ravnica, so never mind. In which case... what about... land enters the battle. Yield? So, yeah, whenever a land enters the battlefield, like landfall cards, yes, but also other stuff. And like these boring landfall cards I'm not super interested in. Okay. This one I'd be down for. The one more counter target creature. Not already running Druid class, so I guess we'll do that. Ooh, yes, Lotus Cobra. Rest of these. Yeah, I mean, we've already looked at the multicolored cards that we've got, so we're not going to see anything that we didn't see. However, I don't think we looked at the artifacts yet. Not that I think we'll find any artifacts that we care for. Okay, so not too many ETB effects. Now, what about what's a card? My mind is blanking. There was ETB effects. Right, protection stuff. Are there any kind of cards that do that? Like land hex proof, perhaps? Nope, nope. Yeah, I didn't think so. What about land indestructible? Is indestructible even a word? No, they changed it to cannot be destroyed. I don't know why they did that. Okay, just make sure. Huh? No, indestructible is definitely a thing. Hang on. What's the card called? Oh, Heroic Intervention. I don't have that card? I should have that card. Oh well. Then yes, absolutely. We will get Heroic Intervention. Now at this point, I do want to go ahead and craft. So there are all our cards. We're still not done building the deck, but this way I can a little bit more visualize what kind of economy we have to get other cards. Okay, so now we're not interested in not collected stuff. We want just what we have in our collection. Destroy all creatures, perhaps? So we've got Day of Judgment and Wrath of God and Doomscar. and Vanquish the Horde. Those are all good board wipes. Now, what else? Let's see what planeswalkers we have. Because there might be some. Planeswalker. Okay, yeah, what planeswalkers? So. Wandering Emperor would probably be good. Okay, Elspeth can actually tutor lands for us. Well, not tutor, but like from the top 7 cards of our library, any permanents. Yes, I will be doing that. Yeah, Professor Onyx. What does she do? Okay, we could use her. Yeah, we'll throw her in. Sadly, cannot use Ugin. These guys mostly care about instants and sorceries. You are good at getting us elves. I think that's all we really care about, unless... No. Okay, so that is all the planeswalkers that we want to add. What about... just like any mythics that we happen to have in our collection? Just like any kind of powerful cards that could be useful. Ball is a possibility. Baneslayer Angel. That's an interesting card. I'm not gonna run it, but that is an interesting card. 2 target creatures. Maybe. Now, blue cards. Reason Borrower. All around. Time Warp is just dumb, but I'm not gonna be that insensitive and run the card. Sure, I'll run Mind's Desire, why not? And Kiora Best the Sea God, because also why not? This really is taking forever, isn't it? Massacre Worm could get us some protection. Goldspan Dragon, maybe. Sure. I like the idea of a Shia and Primal Command. And we're back to the cards. Ooh. Okay, sure. Planar Bridge, why not? We're not gonna have the mana to use it, but sure. Okay, what else? How many lands do we have in the deck, by the way? 40. 40 is probably enough. In which case... Okay, hang on. There's a few more planeswalkers we need. I think it's a Kiora. Okay, that's not the only Kiora. Oh, it's the only Kiora mythic rare. There it is, Behemoth Beckoner. What else? It's like I played ramp decks back in the day. There's a few artifact ramp cards that we still need. Arcane Signet. Right there. And we also need Chromatic Lantern. What else? There's... Okay, hang on. There's one land tutor card I know of that we could run. Actually, there's two, right? There's, Nylea's Intervention. Yes, Nylea's Intervention. Do I want to spend the rare? Yeah, why not? So get Nylea's Intervention, and what's the other card we want? It's... Oh, hang on. There's actually one that does Conjuring. I played it. Yes, here it is. Follow the tracks. Can get us gates. Ooh, Holland Wrangler, actually. Enters battlefield, seek a land. And then discard a land to conjure. Sure. I guess I'll run that. Are there any other, like, yeah, what do I have that's indestructible? This all gives my creatures indestructible. Also, I have a feeling there's gonna be a lot of these cards. So probably not worth. But I don't know. We'll see. I mean, there is Avacyn. She gives our stuff indestructible. Oh, right. Hang on. No. Take Avacyn out. There. What was that one? Hour of Promise. There it is. Search for 2 land cards. The card has more text, but that's not going to matter because we're not going to be running any deserts. But yeah, search for up to 2 lands and put them onto the battlefield tapped. Any lands, not just basics. What else do we want? How's our curve look? We could use more 1s, but also, like, we're not going to be playing a lot of stuff on 1 because we're playing a lot of tapped lands. Yeah, what other cards? Let me just see. Anything that searches for land that I don't own. Dig Up technically does that, but that would honestly just be better as any tutor card. Forceful Cultivator is funny, but no. That's only basics. Scape Shift. Scape Shift. Scape Shift. Ooh. We have to have Scape Shift. Okay, I think the last 2 cards we need to run are as follows. Any card that gets stuff out of our graveyard and any card that gets stuff out of our graveyard. Ooh. Nah, Reliquary. Well, maybe. Neither Reliquary could be good. But no, I think at this point, really need to be Unless, hang on, are there any artifacts that search for non-basics? Basic, basic. Doesn't look like it. Okay. Now... we're at the next part. Yeah, anything that returns cards from a graveyard. And really, it can just be anything that we have in our collection. Yeah, black is gonna have a lot of stuff. Ooh, mulch. Yeah. It doesn't actually do what we want. It kind of... yeah. But, hang on. Okay, what do you do? Non-legendary, or... hang on. Maze is that's a legendary, right? It's not. Are any of our lands legendary? Okay, Baldur's Gate is a legendary. Seems we'll be fine. Okay, Shigeki, you're in. And that's 100 cards. Now, for the lands. So we've got our gates, but we still have... yeah, we got a bunch of basics that the game just kind of gave us. I don't want those. Okay, so we want command tower and just out of curious, anything that will give us any color. And there's these awful cards like Archway Commons and Rupture Spire. Those, no. Do I have any of the triumphs? I should have. I don't have any of the triumphs? I don't have any of the triumphs. Interesting. Okay, what else? So we want, like, I'd say... like, we obviously don't want this many basics. What about... okay, what does the Suggest Lands button do? I guess that's already what it's doing. I mean, I guess... just any... yeah, just take a look at all the non-basics we have and see what's worth adding. I'm considering the Thriving Lands, since we're running so many different colors and, like, we want to be able to fix our mana as best as possible. So I think, though, yeah, running those might be worth it. We really don't want to be running too many tapped lands, but we kind of are already anyway. So, might as well, right? What other? Yeah, Thriving Grove. should be like one more, right? There's definitely one more. Hang on. Where did I miss it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's one more somewhere. Oh, maybe I just don't have the red one. That's fine. Like, we don't want to run all 5 of them. Now it's just a question of what else do we want? Well... So there's... I'm just gonna see. Okay, what are the gold Wooburg lands? Because... Okay. There's really just World Tree. What about not collected, huh? Not collected Wooburg. I'm just curious. Raugrin, those things. Wait a minute, where's Command Tower? Where does Command Tower and... Hang on. Because these are all organized... yeah, Arena organizes their lands in a very weird way. I think choosing the gold option just locks us out of, like, all the lands that tap for more than just 2 colors, or more than just 3. So I want to see what lands tap for all colors. Okay, let's just start at the far back. Unknown Shores isn't good. Uncharted Haven is a maybe, but I don't think we want that. There's Rupture Spire. Lotus Field would be a meme. Ghost Quarter, Gateway Plaza. Forsaken Crossroads is kind of a must. Yeah, I'll throw in Forsaken Crossroads. We can spare a single rare. Okay, that's the card I was looking for. Cascading Cataracts. Throw you in. And yeah, I think at that point, let's go back to just what we have in our collection. So how many basics are we stuck with? 4 forests, 3 islands, 4 plains. Honestly, that's kind of perfect. If not for the fact that there's like more other stuff. I don't know. I think this is fine. right? Sure. Like, there's other stuff that we could maybe be doing. Like, I'm considering also adding in, like, either the pathways, which are just better than basic lands in every way other than the fact that they're not basic. Because you at least get to choose a color for them to enter as. So the pathways is one thing I'm considering. The other I'm considering are this cycle of lands right here. I don't know what name this cycle has yet, but they're the ones that enter tapped unless you control 2 or more other lands. Those are very solid for Arena because of the fact that they like, you're gonna be getting a lot of lands out anyway. So, like, yeah, I'm just saying. But anyway, yeah, and there's the pathways. They're not quite as good as these, I don't think. Like, obviously, if you were to play a 1-drop, then yeah, you want the pathway, because this land is not going to enter untapped on turn 1. But the problem is with the pathways, when you choose one side, you're stuck with that one side, and at least these ones are going to be entering untapped if you draw them late game, and they're going to be tapping for one of 2 colors. So yeah. But I think this is fine where we're at. Yes, finish off that deck. We spent quite a few wild cards, but this is fine. This is why you save them. You save them so that you can build the deck that you want when you know a deck that you want to build. Now, I would love to get into some games and test this deck out and see how it goes, but unfortunately, it's 10:30 here. And it's a weeknight. I have work tomorrow. I have to set my alarm for like 6:30, which is 8 hours from now. So I need to start getting ready for bed, sadly. But we can at the very least customize our deck a little bit. Let's give our deck a little bit of flair, you know, get our Dragon Boy. Do we want to change our avatar to anything? I don't know, like, I kind of like Dina. She's cute. We could go for, like, Vivian. Or, well, Vivian's more creature focused. Nissa is more land focused. So Nissa would be the more appropriate one, but Dina's, yeah, like I said, Dina's kind of cute. We don't have any pets, unfortunately. So that's it. We're done. We have built our Gates deck. I cannot tell you if it's good or not, but well, you were here for it, and if you weren't here for it, here, let's get into a better view. Change the layout. Here is the entire deck. This is how the curve looks. This is all the cards we have. Obviously a lot of green, because green deals a lot with like lands and getting things to be multiple colors. And then of course we need white for the board wipes, and of course we need, like, you know, all the other cards for all the other colors for the different stuff. But this is basically it, you know, this is our first draft of the Gates deck. Will it be good? Probably not. I can guarantee you that I'm gonna say about a third of the cards in this deck are just fluff. Like, Cure the Best Sea God, it's a good card on its own, it doesn't do anything for our strategy. It's a control card, sure. I guess that's what it is. It's just a control card. Maelstrom Archangel? Is that a good card? Probably not. Like, I don't know. We could get a free Mind's Desire. Like, we play a bunch of stuff pre-combat and then attack with Maelstrom Archangel. And then play Mind's Desire from our hand. And Storm will trigger a bunch of times. Sure. That's a thing that could theoretically happen, but yeah, like I said, probably not the best thing that we could be doing. There's probably better things that really fit the bill of what our deck is trying to do. That said, I think this is a decent first draft at the very least. We have all the relevant gate support cards, we have a lot of ways to fix our mana, we have a lot of ways to search for our gates, and frankly none of this would really work without Golos, because Golos is going to be our most consistent way of ensuring that we get out Maze's End, and then once we have Maze's End we can just kinda, you know, play a little bit of a control game. We're not a super control-y deck, like we don't have a lot of counter spells, but we have a few board wipes. Just enough to keep us from, like, dying. Hopefully. Maybe. Probably not. But, yeah, I have to end the stream. You will get to see this deck in action someday. Probably not next week, but someday. Also, what happened to the sound? Like, Arena is weird and buggy, and I think it's every time I tab out of the game, the sound just kind of disappears. It's weird. But, anyway. Let's get to the wrap-up, I suppose. Thank you all for watching. Next week is... yeah, this Friday is gonna be... no. This Sunday is gonna be more Skyrim. So look forward to that. I may do some streaming, like just some Harrow and Chill or whatever. Where I stream, like, what's it called, Civ 6, because I have, like, I streamed the post-game of a Civ 6 run that I was doing, and I think, yeah, we're kind of ready to do something with that. So yeah, if you want to support me, here are all my links in my card. You can check there. There's different ways you can support me financially. You can sub to this channel, or you can leave a tip through Stream Elements. Lots of different ways you can support me. And when we raid, I think we're going to be raiding Gray, a person who I actually haven't talked to in quite a while. But when we do the raid, this is our raid message, Haru Hugs, which you can copy and paste when we get there, or type it in yourself, and if you're subbed to me, you can have access to the heart emote. With all that said, thank you all so much for coming. Bye bye.